All right, guys, my name is Adnan Jalali. It's a pleasure to see you guys here today at the webinar. I'm here on behalf of Abdullah Sayed, my dear friend, who works with an amazing charity called a continuous charity, and it's acceducate.org. What they do is provide interest-free loans for Muslims, which is a huge, huge thing, considering that I come from a family of five. We're five brothers and sisters, and we come from a middle class home in America. And I'm here in Houston currently. Right now, I live in Colombia, but I go back and forth. Colombia, South America. We can talk about that later if you guys have any questions about that later. Anyway, so we were five kids, and all of us, obviously, we wanted to have university degrees, so we all went to school. And of course, my parents couldn't afford it, so we had to get loans. And those loans, obviously, have interest. And if we had the option, if we had a continuous charity when I was going to school, that would have been amazing. It would have saved us from having to delve into interest to get our university education. And so it's a great charity. I'm a big fan, and I'm so glad and honored to be supporting them today in this webinar. So again, acceducate.org. Go ahead and check them out and see what great work that they're doing, and please support them. Now, today's webinar is going to be on Chasing 100. So, and my name is Adnan Jalali. I'm a leadership consultant. I work with companies, business owners, entrepreneurs in different countries. I've had the great blessing of launching my own business several years ago. And I was a school principal and a school teacher at one point in my life. And I was asked a question one day that really changed everything for me. And that question was, what would your life look like if you were living at 100% of your full potential? And that question really, when I first heard that question, I said, man, I have no clue. I never even thought about what would my life look at if I was living at 100% of my absolute full potential, right? And so it took me 6 months to really dig deep and really think about, okay, what does my 100% look like in life? In every area, in my career, in my finances, in my relationships with my family, my friends, in my relationship with my significant other, in my health, my physical health, which a lot of times Muslims completely ignore or forget about, right? In my spirituality, in things that I just want to do, my bucket list stuff, right? What's my bucket list, and how can I actually live it out rather than being a dream that never gets fulfilled? And so, so all of these things I started to really think about for 6 months and think, okay, what is my 100%? What's my best? Right. And so I started to lay those things out. And then I went about, changing my profession. I left my career when I was really hitting the top of my career. At that point, I had successfully helped turn around or do 2 school transformations as a principal. And I was getting offers to be a superintendent of different school systems in different parts of the world. And so I was really hitting kind of the top of my career. And because of that one question, what is my 100% in life? I shifted completely. I left my career. I started my own business in 2 countries simultaneously. I started my business in the US and in Colombia, South America. And I started a business down there without knowing the language, and without knowing anyone, and without having any business experience. But I wanted to prove that if you're wired a certain way, you can go out and create whatever life you want to create. I really wanted to prove that, because I have a lot of faith in, number one, in Allah and what He can do for me. And I have a lot of faith in myself, in the sense that if I stay connected to the source of everything, He can help me get to my absolute best self, and it's very easy for Him to do that for me. Right? And so I said, all right, what's my absolute best, and I went out and chased it, and that's where Chasing 100 is born. And so now, 4 years later, having worked with thousands of people in Colombia, having worked with thousands of people here in the U.S., having given seminars in different countries, it's just been an absolute amazing adventure when you stop accepting where you are and you go out and start chasing your absolute best life, go out and creating that best life. Okay, so that's what Chasing 100 is all about. Now, the key to Chasing 100 really lies in this following phrase that I'm about to say. Okay, so I'm going to go over a lot of information very, very quickly. I can't give you everything that's in the book. By the way, there's a book, Chasing 100. Alhamdulillah, hit #1 bestseller in several categories in several countries. Recently, we launched in the middle of January, and it's been doing great, alhamdulillah. And so to really dive into the subject, you got to go get the book on Amazon or on chasing100now.com. We have the special edition hardcover coming in soon, so you can go ahead and sign up, and we'll send you information of when that book comes in. Or you can get the soft copy on Amazon or the Kindle version on Amazon. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to share some of the principles of Chasing. I'm going to kind of quickly go over the principles of Chasing 100. It's 7 steps to reverse engineering your best life. And I don't just talk about it, I'm living it. I'm chasing my 100, right? And so I think it's a very powerful book. Alhamdulillah, I've gotten great reviews. Alhamdulillah, so far so good, 5 stars and all the reviews in Amazon. So I'm very, very happy, and I'm very grateful to have the honor of adding value to people's lives in many different parts of the world. Alhamdulillah. So I'm going to quickly go over the 7 steps to reverse engineering your best life. But I want to start off with one kind of underlying principle behind all this. So you guys ready? I hope you guys are ready for this, okay? Because it's a game changer. Everything I'm going to tell you today, I'm going to give you like 20, 30 game changers if you actually think about it and apply it to your life, okay? So the first game changer is this. The world doesn't give you what you want. It gives you who you are, okay? The world doesn't give you what you want. It gives you who you are. We all have dreams. We all have goals. We all have things that we want to accomplish, but we'll never accomplish them if we don't become more, right? We have to become more to get more out of life. If you look at, and I always look back at the Prophet ﷺ, the Prophet, peace be upon him, Prophet Muhammad, as an example for my life and for me. And he became an amazing, the most amazing individual to ever walk the face of the earth, right? He became that person through his own development, okay? So that's the first, underlying thing, that a lot of us, like, in order to really chase our 100, live out our absolute best lives, we have to become better. We have to invest in ourselves, okay? And I'm going to dive into that here in a minute. Now, before we start, before we dive into the 7 steps, I want to mention one thing about something from the Sunnah that, and you guys are gonna hear this probably for the first time, because in all of my years, 20 years of like attending lectures and halakas and listening to shuyukh and watching videos, I've never heard this being talked about before. So I'm going to share with you something from the Sunnah that I find to be extremely inspirational, and no one talks about it. Okay, to start off with, one of the things that I love and that I'm super inspired by the Prophet ﷺ is that the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is that he reached his absolute highest potential in life, and then he went back to Allah. And this is stated in his last sermon. He stands on the Mount of Arafah, and in the middle of the sermon, he looks up at the sky, points up, and says, Ya Allah, God, you are my witness that I have delivered my message, your message to my people. And when I think about that and I understand the context of the situation, for me, what comes to mind is that essentially what he's saying is, hey, I did what I came here to do, and I'm done. I'm ready to go back. And so, subhanAllah, when I think about that, I think that's what we all want, right? I mean, that's what we all want in life. I want to be able to get to the end of my life and to be able to stand on my own mountaintop, right, so to speak, and be able to look out at all the people that I love in my life, my parents. I don't have any kids yet, but maybe one day my kids, my 17 nephews and nieces, my brothers and sisters, my friends, my clients, all you guys out there, look at everyone that I've, whose lives I've touched in the world, and be able to say, guys, I did what I came to do. I did it. I got there. I fulfilled my potential. I did exactly what I was meant to do. And now, man, I'm ready to go back. Right? I'm ready to go back. And I think that's the goal for all of us, right? And by the way, if you guys are online, you guys have any questions, comments, go ahead and put it in the chat box. And hopefully, if we have some time at the end, I'll address those comments and or questions, okay? And I appreciate you joining me. Thank you so much. I'm very honored for you guys being here. So that's, like, no one ever talks about that, right? In the life of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. That's a sunnah, to reach our best, to chase that, right? To chase that best version of ourselves, right? And so that's why I kind of wrote Chasing 100. That's been a big inspiration for me in creating this whole thing of Chasing 100. Okay, so hope you guys are good so far. Hope you guys are with me so far. Typically, when I do live events and I talk to audiences, I always teach them a little bit of Spanish. And I always say, I ask them, ¿Están conmigo? Are you guys with me? And I ask them to, with a lot of energy, to say, Estamos contigo. We are with you. Okay? So I know I can't hear you or whatever, but ¿Están conmigo? I hope you guys are saying, Estamos contigo. We're with you. Okay? Great. And I've taught, this thing to, like, in many different countries, and it's a lot of fun. Okay, so 7 steps to chasing your 100. Let's go. Step number 1. You guys ready? Let's do a little drum roll. All right. You guys know I like to have fun, obviously. And I'm sorry if I'm loud. It's the microphone here. It's, Anyway. Okay, step number 1. Create the vision. Create the vision. Okay? Create the vision. What I mean by that is that, like I did, I thought about what is my full potential in life, what is my 100%, and I started to actually write down the vision of my life in all the different areas. I started to write down, what does my life look like at 100% in terms of my career? And at the time, I was a school principal, but for me, my 100% in terms of career was having my own leadership consulting business, was inspiring people all over the world, was having successful consulting firm that had offices in different parts of the world. That was my 100. And so to fulfill that 100 or chase that 100, I had to completely leave my comfort zone, leave my career, and then do something totally different. And, so that's first step, is to create that vision. What is that? So many of us as parents, I was just having a conversation with a dear friend of mine half an hour before I jumped on the webinar, and who's a parent and, struggling with a teenage, kid, right? So when I think about creating that vision of 100% of life, part of that is your relationships, right? What do you want your relationships to be like? When I see my parents, when I see my siblings, when I see my loved ones, my friends, I want it to be positive. I want it to be loving. I want it to be warm. I want it to be happy, a great experience. I wake up and I do a gratitude exercise every morning. That's how I start my day after prayer. And I sit there and I thank Allah and I thank God for everything that happened the day before, every detail. So when I have time with my loved ones, I say, Dear God, oh Allah, thank you for the time with my mother. Thank you for the time with my father. Thank you for the time with my brother. Thank you for the time with my dear friend. Thank you for giving me that time. Thank you for the time with my niece, with my nephew. So when we start approaching life that way and thinking about our best self, living out our best self every day, things start to change. Because I don't want to spend my days fighting with my spouse, for example, right? Or with my parents or with my brother or with I don't want to live that way. I want to have great relationships. I want to be at my 100 with them. Right? And I know it's tough. It's not always going to be, perfect, right? But I want to chase that. That should be our goal, to have great relationships, right? To have a great career, to make the kind of money that we want to make in order to be comfortable and then help others, right? I want my spirituality to be strong. I want to have a close connection with Allah. Right? I want my health to be good. I just came from the gym about an hour ago, right? It's important. Our health is important. I want to be up there. I don't want to be out of shape because that affects every other area of life. People don't understand. Muslims don't take that seriously. The Prophet, what does he describe? A flat stomach, broad shoulders. What does that mean? He was fit. He was 60 something years old, racing Aisha, who was very young at the time, running at 60 something. How many of our family members do we know at 60 something can still run without having a heart attack or falling over, right? So anyway, the first step is creating that vision. What does that 100% of life look like? What is it? So the first thing we have to do is create that vision. There's a beautiful statement by a guy by the name of Wayne Dwyer, who says, if you first go there in the mind, you'll eventually go there in the body. Very powerful statement. So you got to think about things in your mind before you actually, you visualize them in your mind before you actually go out there and create that. And this is a prophetic principle. This is what you got to understand. Our deen is so much deeper than we think. It's not about we always focus on the length of our pants and the length of our beard, and we don't. And I'm not saying it's not important, but what's really important is the depth of our understanding of life in the world, right? And so the Prophet ﷺ, at the worst moments of his life, when they were boycotted, when his loved ones were dying, he was talking about how wonderful it will be to walk through the streets of Rome and Persia. Right? He was visualizing success years before and in the worst times. Right? So we have to start having that. And that really, I'm actually jumping ahead a little bit. That's actually step number 3, is to create a world-changing mindset. Like the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, had. He had a world-changing mindset. His mindset was unbreakable, right? So that's what we have to have anyway. So step number 1 is to create that vision. Take some time, look at all the aspects of life, your career, your finances, your health, your spirituality, your relationships. Look at all those things and say, okay, my absolute best, this is what the image looks like. This is what my life would look like. Okay? Now, step number 2 is to live the seven foundational principles. I'm going to go over these very, very quickly because I know it's we're already 20 minutes in, and there's so much left. So 7 foundational principles. You got to have an underlying approach to life in order to get to your 100 and chase your 100, right? Design your life chasing your 100. So those 7 principles, I'm going to go through them really quickly. Number 1, learning to live your life from the inside out, not from the outside in. Okay? Living from the inside out, not from the outside in. Here's what I mean by that. Most people design their lives depending on external circumstances. Okay? So they'll say, okay, well, I live in this city. I have this much money right now. I have this much education. This is my profession. This is my background. And I'm going to determine my next step based on just that. Right? Now, that's designing your life based on external circumstances. What I'm saying is dig deep inside. Know what you really want to accomplish in life. Know what you really want to do without limits. Without limits. Dig deep inside. You know, when I was a school principal in Houston, Texas, I was thinking about owning a successful business in Colombia, South America, without knowing Spanish, without knowing anyone there. Alhamdulillah, now I speak Spanish. Alhamdulillah. I do trainings 100% in Spanish. I went down there. I took the risk. You know, it was tough. It sucked at first because I didn't understand anyone and I didn't know anyone. So it was hard to build a business. But alhamdulillah, now we've worked in like 8 different cities in the country with thousands of people, right? I mean, it's just been an amazing journey. And it's not because I'm awesome. It's because I know who I'm dealing with. I know the power of who I'm dealing with. What can Allah not do for me? What can He not do for me? So for me to go to another country, build a successful business, learn the language, meet people, inspire people, it's so easy for Allah to make that happen. Right? It's so easy. But unfortunately, we think with these limits and we think small and we only look at our current circumstances without thinking big and stepping back and saying, you know what? What do I really want to do in life? Okay. I was just with a client of mine yesterday who's gone from starting a business 4 years ago. I mean, he's killing it way more than I am in terms of business, right? He started 4 years ago from nothing. And now his business, he has $1 billion worth of assets. And I sat with the guy yesterday. And he said, you know, my real passion is not business. The business is just a means to do other things I want to do. His dream was always to start schools. He's from India, so start schools in India and provide free education for kids that couldn't afford it, for kids in slums, in dangerous and bad areas. And he was telling me the story of how he started these schools. And he decided to make it just for little girls to educate them. Right? And now he said that it was tough for them to go to school because their parents wanted them to work to help them. Their parents couldn't afford to feed them. So the parents wanted them to work. So they couldn't go to school. So what he did was he provided breakfast and lunch for the girls. So then the parents felt better sending them to school because they didn't have to feed them. The school would feed them. And then what happened is the girls going to school, it was very dangerous for them. So he decided to get a bus, and now he buses them to school. Okay. Now he's actually building a dormitory so that they can just stay there. You know, I mean, that's his dream, right? He's a big thinker, and this guy's not Muslim, but he has faith. He has faith. He said, I believe that God put me here to change lives. Right? I mean, amazing story, right? So When we stop thinking, so what I mean by living from the inside out is saying, what do I really want to do in life? What do I really want to accomplish? What's my 100%? And then go out and do what it takes to create that, regardless of your current circumstances. Don't just look at where you are. Start thinking bigger. Start thinking more, more expansive. Start putting more faith in Allah and God and what He can do for you. Okay, so that's principle number one. You guys, I hope you guys are with me. If you have any questions, go ahead and write them. But that's living from the inside out. Okay, not the outside in. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, the power of faith. I've already discussed that. Faith is so much. Faith will give you wings. Faith will allow you to fly. Faith will allow you to live a life that no one could have imagined, that you couldn't have imagined. The way I'm living now, I could have never imagined. Alhamdulillah. But because I really have faith in God, in Allah, I've been able to kind of create this incredible life, and I'm very happy, and I'm so thankful for it. Number three, the Energizer Bunny. What I mean by that is that I think a lot of Muslims, we don't focus much on energy. And the Prophet ﷺ, if you look at his example, he was a ball of positive energy, right? He was always positive, always optimistic, always looking at a bright future, right? Never complaining, never. When did you hear him complain, right? Doesn't complain, doesn't look at the bad in people, looks at the good in people. Okay, he was a ball of energy. He walked fast. They said that he walked like as if he was going downhill. Why? Because he was full of energy. He had stuff to do. People who want to do great things in life hustle. They move. I've never met a highly successful person, and I mean success by every standard, right? That was lazy, that was slow, always kind of like low energy. Every successful person I know, and I deal with successful people day in and day out. My clients are owners of multi-billion-dollar companies, okay? And they're good people, right? Not just saying that monetary is only success. They're really good people. They're big-hearted. They take care of so many people, okay? They're high energy, man. They move, right? So the Prophet ﷺ was like that. He was a hustler. He moved, right? High energy. So that's number three. Number four, being very self-aware and living authentically. So many of us will never reach our 100 because we're trying to live the life that other people wanted for us, not our own authentic life. I've had to have very, I was raised in a Pakistani culture, and our culture, a lot of times, the parents have a tremendous amount of say-so and influence on what we decide in life. One of the great things that I'm blessed with is parents that allowed me to just do my thing and, really create the life that was authentic to what I wanted and not force me to do anything that I didn't want to do, right? And so being self-aware, knowing what you really want and living authentically to you, right? Your authentic life, not the life your parents want, not the life your spouse wants you to live. A lot of us give up so much of ourselves just to please our spouse, okay? And we think it's good. We think, oh, we're sacrificing, we're doing this. But at the same time, so many people become bitter about that. They start to hate their spouse because their spouse prevented them from being themselves, right? And so I think it's very, very critical to be very self-aware and to live our authentic lives, okay? Now, I'm not saying don't take anyone into consideration. Of course, you're going to take advice from your parents, from your spouse, from your loved ones, from your friends. But at the end of the day, we have to be very, very self-aware and live our lives in an authentic manner, okay? Okay, so that's self-awareness and living authentically. Number five, being comfortable with being uncomfortable. Okay, comfortable with being uncomfortable. When I'm too comfortable in a situation, when I'm like, yeah, I'm good, everything's chill, everything's just kind of cool, that's when I get worried. It's like the opposite of everyone, right? That's when they're happy. I get worried because I always want to be pushing myself. And to push myself, I have to get uncomfortable. I have to do things that I'm not sure if I can do, that are so like big and, right? They're challenging, that I'm forced to be uncomfortable, forced to grow, forced to become more in life, right? So being comfortable with being uncomfortable, getting used to that discomfort so that we can keep growing, so that we can keep pushing ourselves. Okay. Number 6, the formula of success for me is be, do, have. Be, do, have. When you talk to people and say, hey, what do you want in life? They usually give you have answers. I want to have a nicer house. I want to have this. I want to make more money. I want to all have things. Now, the key to having more, the foundation of that is being more. Okay? When we are more, we do more, and then we have more. Having is a consequence of who we are. Okay? Now, when I say be more, I'm going to tell you a little formula that I follow, because people are like, well, I don't know what that means. Be more. I don't even know what that means. Okay? How do I become more? Right? So the way I would explain it, or I explain it, is that basically we experience everything in one of 4 planes, right? Mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical. Okay? We experience everything in one of those 4 planes. All right? So to be more, we have to invest in ourselves in each of those 4 areas every single day. So my approach to life is, what did I do today to improve myself mentally, to have a stronger mindset, to learn, to grow? What did I do mentally? How were my emotions today? How many positive emotions did I have today? Right? How many negative emotions did I have today? Was I emotionally intelligent? Did I deal with people in an emotionally intelligent way? Who, like the Prophet, was the master of that, by the way. Okay? I'm actually filming some courses on leadership, on the leadership of the Prophet, peace be upon him, the greatest leader in the history of mankind, a series of courses on that. So you guys will see that soon through Islam in Spanish, another organization that I work with. It'll be both in English and Spanish. Anyway, the point is, so mentally, what did I do today? Emotionally, what did I do today? Spiritually, how did I work on myself today? And physically, how did I work on myself today? Okay? When I address those 4 areas every single day, I'm going to become more in life. And so then I can do more, and then I can have more. Does that make sense? ¿Están conmigo? You guys say, estamos contigo. Okay, last one. I'm not going to get into it too much because it's kind of deep. It's called The Iceberg and the Secret Sauce. If you guys want to learn about that, please go out, get the book. It's, you can get it, I think, for $3 for the Kindle version. So I'm not, trying to sell you a bunch of stuff here. Just, go check it out. Or if you want the hardcover special edition, go to chasing100now.com, register, and we'll send you the information as soon as we get the book. Or again, you can go to Amazon. Okay. So those are the 7 kind of foundational principles. I'm just on step 2. I've already given you life-changing principles, I hope, inshallah, if you apply them. They've been life-changing for me. That's just step 2, okay? So step 1 was creating the vision. Step 2 was living the 7 foundational principles. Step 3 is creating a world-changing mindset, a mindset that really, I really believe a world-changing mindset, meaning you believe 100% that you can go out and change the world, that you can go out and literally change the world, change people's lives, right? Through your positive influence and your spirit and your love and your care. Okay. To build that kind of a mindset that just unstoppable, right? Like the Prophet, again, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, a mindset that, that allows you to go out there and go from being an orphan who couldn't read to the most influential human being that ever lived in the history of mankind. How does that happen? It's impossible. It's impossible. Our deen, our way, teaches us to chase for the impossible. That's our example, right? We don't think about this stuff, So go out and chase the impossible, man. That's our history. That's our legacy. Go out and chase that impossible, right? So we have to create that world-changing mindset. And there's a number of things that I can't get into today because it's just not enough time. A number of things that I talk about, or steps or tips that I give you in the book to really create that world-changing mindset. Okay. And anyway, so I want you to guys check that out. Number 4 is learning how to use your emotions as rocket fuel to push your dreams forward. Now, mindset, having the right mindset, is only one part of the equation. The other part of the equation to really get what you want in life is to put your emotions into it. Your emotions push your dreams forward. What your emotions do, the way I see it, visually, is like the emotions are like the fuel that push your dreams forward, that push your mindset forward. Your mindset, when you develop the right mindset, okay, the right approach to life, the right way of thinking about life, okay, that will be good, but it won't be enough unless you because we're also emotional beings, right? That won't be enough. It'll just be a car without gas. Okay? So what you have to do is put gas in the gas tank so that car can run, so that mindset can turn into reality. Okay? What you have in your mind, it can turn into reality by plugging into your emotions. Okay? You pour that gasoline into your mindset, and then boom, your dreams start to push forward. But you have to have some emotion behind it. Okay? You have to have passion behind it. I can't tell you, when I talk to people and they tell me, and I say, hey, how's it going? I haven't, someone maybe I haven't seen in a while. And I'll say, hey, how's it going, man? How's everything? I haven't seen you in a while. And they say, same old, same stuff, different day. I'm at a loss. I'm at a loss of of words when I hear that. Life is meant to be lived passionately. It's meant to be lived with passion. It's meant to be lived with drive. It's meant to be lived chasing that 100. If it's just like that, blah, same stuff, different day, then you're not actually living life. Right? You're experiencing life. You're going through, sleepwalking through life. And that's why I said earlier, why I push myself and make myself uncomfortable, because I want that. I want to live life passionately. I want to live every day passionately. I want to feel life every day. Right? When I want to be conscious that when I'm with my family, I love them. I show them that I love them. I tell them that I love them. I care about them. I smile. I hug them. I want to express, I want to live passionately. Right? That's how I want to live. I don't want to sleepwalk through life. The vast majority of people are just sleepwalking through life. It's unacceptable to me. And it should be unacceptable to you, especially if you're a Muslim. That's not our example, right? That's not our example. None of the greats in the past, whether it be the Prophet Muhammad or the other prophets, peace be upon them all, they live passionately. When was the last time you heard a hadith saying, yeah, you should just kind of, or I don't even know how to say it. Like if the Prophet ﷺ saying, yeah, It's just another day. Are you kidding? Just another day? I mean, just another day? You woke up, you have good health, you have faith, you have your family, you have a house, you have a roof, you have food. How can you not approach life with passion if you have all those blessings? Right? It's a mindset. It's an approach to life. And the Prophet had that approach. We're supposed to have that approach. We're not supposed to ever say same stuff, different day. That's not us, man. That shouldn't be us. Okay? So, I know I kind of went off on a tangent there, but I don't even know where I left off. So I was talking about emotions, right? So we have to be emotionally invested in chasing our 100 and chasing our best self and chasing our dreams and our goals and living passionately. Okay. Step number 5, which the vast majority of Muslims forget, is getting active, living a healthy lifestyle. Okay. Again, being physically fit. Okay, whatever that fitness level is, but being fit, for me personally, and that's everyone has to decide what that means for them. For me personally, what fit means to me is that I can go out and I can go run, right? Or I can go do some kind of exercise at any point without feeling like I'm just gonna pass out, right? And also it means that I'm conscious of what I'm putting into my body. Okay? I'm conscious of what I'm putting into my body, especially here in the West or in, the US in particular. The kind of food that we eat is really killing us. It's destroying our bodies, right? So we have to go back to kind of natural foods that the Prophet recommended, sallallahu peace be upon him, foods that are, again, natural, healthy, all that stuff. That's all part of our way. It's all part of our way. Again, the Prophet had a flat stomach. He had a flat stomach. He had broad shoulders. So what does that mean? Flat stomach means he ate healthy. Whenever you see someone with a flat stomach, that typically means, especially at an older age, right? Some young people can get away with, like me, for example, when I was like 21 or 22, I had a flat stomach. I didn't eat the best, as a college student, I didn't eat the best food possible, right? Like most of us in college, right? Pizza and hamburgers are like our staple foods, right? That's like the food pyramid. It's pizza, hamburgers, like tacos, right? Anyway, but I could get away with it because I was 21 and I played basketball for like 3 hours, right? So anyway, so flat stomach, broad chest, strong, fit, ate well. 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. What did the Prophet say? Eat 1/3. Drink water 1/3 and leave 1/3 empty. That's our biggest problem here in Houston, in Texas, right? Everything's bigger in Texas, including the people, right? So like, that last 1/3 of like emptiness, our eating, we eat until we're full, not until we're okay. Okay. So my brother, by the way, you really should learn from him, follow him, learn from him. His name is Rehan Jalali. He's a celebrity fitness trainer and nutritionist who I've learned all my, stuff about physical fitness through him. Fantastic guy, has a great book out there called The 6-Pack Diet Plan. Really interesting guy. Anyway, so he's emphasized fitness and spirituality and fitness. And so we have to understand that that's a big part of chasing our 100. We can't just chase our 100 financially, in our relationships and in our spirituality and forget about our health. Again, we have a complete way of life, and chasing our 100 means 100 in everything. Okay, so that's step number 5. Get active. Get active. Create an active lifestyle. It makes you think better. It reduces your stress, reduces anxiety, makes you live longer, makes you happier, right? You have endorphins, positive endorphins running through your body when you exercise. Have you ever met a fitness trainer? Or if I talk to 100 fitness trainers, how many of them are going to be like blah negative people? One maybe out of 100. Why is it when you meet a fitness trainer, they're always happy, they're always like positive people? Because they have those endorphins running through their body all the time, and as a result of being physically fit, they're happier, their moods are better, their mind is sharper, right? So anyway, so that's step number 5, to get active. Step number 6, it's hard to fly without faith, and that is spirituality, taking time to develop our spirituality. And to me, spirituality is all about the connection with the divine, the connection with Allah, the connection with God, right? That to me, that's the bottom line of spirituality. How can you create that strong connection with Him, that feeling of He's with you, that He's with you along your journey in life, that He supports you, He wants you to get at your best, He wants you to live your best life, right? That He's there for you. There's really no other feeling in life like that. A lot of us go through motions and rituals, but we lose that really deep sense of just love, right? Love. That deep sense of love of God and what He's done for us and what He can do for us, right? We lose that. So, building our spirituality is something that, that is a key to our success. I think as Muslims, if you're a Muslim, I think we do a pretty good job of that, to be honest with you. I work with a very diverse group of people, Muslims, non-Muslims, Christians, Jews, atheists I work with. And I really have love for all of them. I have love as a human being for all of them. But I think as Muslims we're lucky because we have a system in place that keeps us connected to Allah, right? Through the prayer. We have a system that keeps us connected, that keeps that line clear, right? That high speed access to God, right? To the source of everything. Right? So we need to plug into that source frequently to be strong, to make us stronger. Just like, the cell phone, if my battery goes down, I got to plug it in, right? Otherwise it's dead. It's a dead phone. That's how we are. If we don't plug into the source, we become dead inside. Okay? So that's number 6. It's hard to fly without faith. We have to develop our spirituality. And last but not least, smashing through obstacles. And we're going to have a lot of obstacles in our way to chasing our 100. Okay? It's not going to be easy. We have obstacles daily, both external, in the world out there, and internal. But I'm going to be honest with you. We overemphasize the external obstacles. I would say 90% of the obstacles, maybe 95, right, are internal. These are the biggest obstacles that we have. Fighting our own mindset, overcoming our own fear, our own negative thinking, our own ego, our own baggage, letting go of bad experiences, right? Forgiving people. All these things. These are internal obstacles that we place in our own way to chasing our 100, right? We have these own, we build these within ourselves, and we don't take enough time to stop, work on ourselves, reflect, be self-aware, question ourselves. Am I really being sincere? Why can't I let go of the past? Why can't I let that go? Why can't I forgive that person? Right? Why can't I let go of the baggage? Is my ego a problem? Am I becoming too egocentric, egotistical? Right? Am I allowing my fear to be stronger than my faith? Right? All of these things internally, we don't spend enough time digging in and working on them Because we're so busy. That's the excuse, right? Hey man, we're busy, especially in America. Life is like this. I mean, it's insane. That's one of the reasons why I moved to Colombia, because I feel more human, right? In Colombia, I feel more human. I feel more, more relaxed. Um, I have time to reflect. I have time to think, right? I don't have that in America. Okay. So anyway, so we wanna be able to really question ourselves, work on those obstacles internally and externally in chasing our 100. So those are the 7 steps, guys. I really hope that you benefited from our little session today. Um, Before I wrap up, is there any questions or anything that you guys have? If not, I can we can go ahead and wrap it up. I don't know if I don't think I see any questions or anything. All right, guys. Okay, so hey, that's it for me today. I'm gonna again remind you that chasing our 100 is part of our legacy. As Muslims, it's what the Prophet did. It's his example, peace be upon him, and that's what we should be doing. We should be chasing our best life, not accepting an average life, going out and creating our lives, not just accepting them the way that they are, creating our best lives, chasing our best lives, and really just killing it. I want you guys to go out and attack life, enjoy life, get the most out of life. And that's why I wrote the book Chasing 100. Again, chasing100now.com or Amazon. You can go get it. I would love for you to read it. I love your feedback. Anytime along the journey, if you need my help, please feel free to reach out to me. You can reach me at founder@jalaligroup.com. That's my email. It'll come directly to me. I wish you the best on your journey of chasing your 100, and anything I can do to support you along the way, please feel free to reach out to me. All right, guys. Abdullah, thank you again for allowing me to be here. A continuous charity. Please go out and support them. They do great work. And I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much, guys. Take care. I wish you all the best. See you next time. Ciao. Assalamu alaikum.